So when I sat down to do the research for this topic, it was quite intriguing to find all of the various resources that are available, of course, online, as well as in textbooks and other books and magazines on saving money. And I wanted to open up with this thought in mind. When I want to talk about saving money, I don't want to talk about pinching pennies. I don't want to talk about turning the lights off. There was an example of turning the shower head off while you wash your hair and soap your body in order to save water. Even though those things are obviously very good money savers, it takes an awful lot of them to really add up to anything significant. And because of our human nature, if it's not a significant reward for a significant workload or effort on our part, we tend to not do it. So I wanted to focus on those that require minimal effort to have a significant reward. Fair enough? And if anybody has any thoughts, questions, or comments while I'm speaking, by all means, please chime in. Those people that know me and have known me for years, they can assure you, you do not interrupt my train of thought, because I haven't had a train of thought since high school. So I wanted to start with some of the ludicrous, the kind of the ones that made me laugh when I was researching and I read them. Doing all of your laundry in cold water, that was funny. Cooking enough meals at one time to freeze for the week was another one. Turning off the tap water while brushing your teeth, I found that to be kind of amusing. Although I actually already do that, it's just a matter of habit, but I found it amusing that it made the list. Where was the one? Oh, it said to try to do your reading and your homework close to doors and windows that let in natural light so you can avoid turning the lights on in your house. Let's see, what was the other one? Oh, well, this actually dated the article. It talked about holding off on personal phone calls until later in the evening and on weekends so you could take advantage of the lower rates. So that kind of dated, I don't know if that dated all the way back to rotary phones or just to when we had limited talk time on our cell phone plans. So we have a first question. Should we see any slides? No, there are no slides just yet. There might not even be any for the entire discussion this evening. You might get a little bit of whiteboard out of me because I have another piece of new technology where it enables me to write, although it looks like a 3-year-old. So I thought some of those were amusing. So let's get off of the amusing ones. Let's try to see if we can't narrow this down to the top 5. And I'll be honest with you, I really had a hard time narrowing my favorites down to just 5. So if time allows, we're actually going to cover more than 5 because they can actually be covered kind of quickly. But I would love it if anybody had some comments, as in you've done this and it works, or you've been thinking about it and it doesn't work. Whatever the comment, good or bad, please chime in. So the first one, and this is something that I covered week before last, for those that were here, and it was about prepaying the mortgage and finding maybe better ways to use extra money every month. And one of the ones that we talked about, and we had a good conversation, I think, was about prepaying bills that give us discounts for doing so. For instance, one of the most popular ones is just about any type of insurance. Health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, liability insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance. Almost all of our insurances allow us a discount if we pay for 6 months in advance or 12 months in advance. We often bypass that savings because the money doesn't look like it means a lot. But here's the thing. I did a little bit of math on my own, and I said most of the bills that I have that prepay, that give you a discount for prepaying, it's about a 5% discount on average. So if you have $10,000 in a given year that give you a 5% discount for paying up front, you save $500. I figured it would take about 30 minutes more for you to go through your records and find out who gives the discount and then make the payment accordingly. It doesn't take you any more time to make the payment, whether you're writing a check, whether you're doing it online. It takes no more time at all. So the time is really just finding out who's going to let you do it. So that's $500 for 30 minutes worth of work, which for the math savvy in the audience is $1,000 an hour as a rate. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I don't earn $1,000 an hour, but I certainly would love to. And this is a way that you can actually monetize your time and say, this is what it's worth. This is what it's worth. It's worth $1,000 an hour. So that's number one. Number two was, on an annual basis, you should do a little research and find out if there are any opportunities out there for you to lower your monthly cost. Now, in most parts of the country, in some parts you can, but in most parts of the country you can't change your utilities, your electricity, your gas, your water. You're stuck with who you have. But you can certainly call and compare cell phones, landlines, internet service. You should compare your insurances every year as well. I make a habit of doing that. I wouldn't say I get to it every year. You know how the mechanic's car is never actually fixed. But I do actually call around, particularly for homeowners insurance, because nowadays, at least in Louisiana, homeowners insurance is a huge chunk of change for anybody. And so if I can save 5 or 10% on my homeowners insurance, that's a significant amount of money. Anybody have any other ideas on what we can shop on an annual basis to save money, besides car insurance, homeowners insurance? Let's see if we can get some audience participation. Cell phones, absolutely. In this day and age, cell phones are very, very competitive with one another, and they're backstabbing to boot, so that's kind of fun. Okay, the third item that I came up with was medications. For those people that take prescription medications on a monthly basis, and I know I recently looked into this and changed my health insurance, which I'm having deja vu on this conversation. I think we covered this in a topic as well on this webinar. But changing your health insurance into a high deductible health insurance, which requires you to now have a savings account, was one step. A step before that would be to look at your prescription plan and see if you can carve your prescription plan out of your existing insurance plan. In other words, call your insurance company and say, listen, if I opt out of the prescription plan, how much money do I save every month? And in my case, I think opting out saved me about $115, $125 a month. And then in turn, I opted in to, I think it was Walgreens. Walgreens' prescription plan, which enables me to get 90-day prescriptions for everything that I take on a consistent basis at a very minimal cost, $9 or $10 for 3 months. So that's a huge savings. So I'm picking up $115 from the insurance, and I'm giving back $10 or $15 for my 90-day prescriptions. So I get a net savings of $100 a month, gross savings for the year of $1,000. To me, that's well worth the effort. I think it took me maybe 2 hours to go through that process. Okay, let's see. What was the next topic? again, I'm trying to narrow. I have about 10 listed, and I find the more I do of these webinars, the less I have a pre-planned script, which I kind of like because I like the ability to go back and forth. I guess the last one I'll throw out there is negotiating your interest rates. I find that a lot of people that I work with don't realize that outside of your car loan and your mortgage, so we're talking non-collateralized loans, let's say, credit card payments, personal lines of credit, you can actually call and just in a conversation negotiate your rate lower with your credit card people. You can do it all by yourself. You don't need a third party to do it. If you've been a bad boy or girl, you've missed a payment, your interest rate went from 4% to 20%, it's very easy to call and tell the credit card company, I've got an offer right here in front of me from XYZ Bank. They told me I'm pre-approved for 6%. Can you do at least 8% and I'll stay with you? You can do the same. I've actually heard of people doing this on their mortgage loan as well. It's very odd that it would go through, but if you've got a $300,000 house, you're looking at $10,000 to $15,000 to refinance that. That really eats into the savings that you're going to get from a lower interest rate. But you can sometimes you can call your current lender and say, listen, I'm thinking about refinancing. The rate that I got is XY, it's 4.5%. You guys are at 6%. 4.5% at the bank down the road. So I'm thinking about taking this loan away from you and giving it to them. Well, their option at that point is to say, sure, take it away. We don't care. Or they can come back with an offer. If you like the offer, you can save that refinancing hassle, and you can pick up 100 basis points on your loan, 1% on your loan maybe. Who knows? 1.25%, 0.5%. Whatever you pick up, it's better than nothing. And there's nothing that ties you to not refinancing anyway. It's a good first step. Fair enough? Okay. I'm going to give a shot to, again, tonight is all about new technology. And we don't have a lot of time left. But what I want to do is I want to bring up a presentation that I did recently to one of the local schools. And give me a moment. There we go. Okay, so it pops up. And this was the presentation that we went through. Is everybody still hearing me okay? Things went definitely silent at the end. Okay. So I went into this class, high school seniors, and I'll be very, very quick with this. And I asked them very quickly, and I'd like for you guys to play along with me. Very quickly, I want you to tell me in the chat box at the bottom how much over a 1-year period of time it would cost you to get Starbucks twice a week. And you have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Punch a number in. Okay, good. We're going to skip this. Well, let's go with this one. Eating 20% of your meals. Now, 20% of your meals, that's 1 out of 5. In a week, in a 5-day week, we eat roughly 20 meals. In a 7-day week, 20 meals. So this is eating eating out 4 times a week. I must have a disc. So, real quick, tell me, what do you think it would cost an average person, one person, to eat out fast food 1 out of 4 meals, 1 out of 5 meals? I'm just waiting for a few of the answers to roll in. All right, y'all are getting off topic now. Y'all are being silly. All right. I also talked to them about smoking and eating out, in a restaurant. So they gave me their answers as you did. So let's see how close all of you were. So Starbucks, Drew Clark, right on the money. Couldn't have gotten any closer. You must have cheated. The eating out, 20% of your meals in a year's time costs you $1,500. I'm just reading comments, trying to play along. Okay, so those are the annual costs, actual costs for eating out on average and doing Starbucks. So then what I said to the students is, listen, look at the dining out. It's dining out $7,000 a year for a couple to eat out 3 times a week. And this is not eating out at Ruth's Chris. This is eating out at, say, Chili's. So I told them, I said, look, let's put this into fast gear now. And let's say instead of spending that money, we save it for the next 40 years. Remember, I'm talking to 18-year-olds, so 40 years to them seems like eternity. For those of us that are not 18, imagine saving for 40 years. But if you save that Starbucks money that was $480, in 40 years you'd have 140 grand. The dining out that was $1,500 a year, in 40 years you'd have $400,000. Now these are not hard things to get rid of, and this was the point, and here's the other 2 numbers. The point of this slide was, and Dr. Clark, you'll appreciate this, these are all things that we shouldn't be doing anyway. They're not healthy for our bodies. They're not healthy for our minds. And now we can see they're not healthy for our pocketbook either. Right? So, quit going to Starbucks, quit smoking, eating fast food, and eating out, right? That's the moral of the story. So I thought that was, the students thought that was a pretty powerful presentation as well. Okay. So that's what I have for the topic. It is now 8:38. So what I'd like to do is just kind of open the floor. We have a lot of this tonight, so that's terrific. I want to thank y'all. I thank all of y'all for being here and for sharing as well. And I'd like to encourage you to continue sharing for the next 10 minutes with some sort of dialogue. And if there's anybody out there brave enough and you'd like to have your voice heard as opposed to typing, give me a little chat that says I want to talk, and I will open your audio line. The way this works, currently everybody is muted. I can unmute you as soon as you tell me you'd like to be heard. So the question, should you pay more on your mortgage each month? Well, that topic we had last week, or week before last, whether or not it made sense to overpay your mortgage. And I can tell you the recording is on our website, so you can check out the entire 30-minute presentation. But the bottom line is 9 out of 10 times, no, it does not make more sense to pay your mortgage off early. The interest rate is too low right now. It doesn't justify saving money on a low interest mortgage when there are still opportunities to make better financial decisions with those extra dollars. And Laura says some stores give discounts on certain days. I'm not familiar with those, Laura. I don't do the shopping too much except for Amazon. Yes, Amy. Every time I remember to hit the record button, within a couple of days, I'll have it posted on the website at LaBiche Financial Services. And I'll also have it on our YouTube website, which is also LaBiche Financial Services. So you can go right now to YouTube, type in LaBiche Financial Services. You'll find our channel. Please subscribe. Please share the love. And check out 2 weeks ago's program, because last week we had the technical difficulties. So Drew Clark says, but if you earn 1.5 on your money and your mortgage is 3. Well, here's the thing. We're not talking about earning 1.5 on your mortgage. We're talking about a mortgage is a 30-year investment. You're trying to pay it off in 20. So now our time frame is 20. when we look at a 20-year time frame for investments, there are investments out there that are paying a heck of a lot better than 1.5%. This forum is not for me to give a plug for what I do and for products and services specific, but I will tell you, I talked to somebody today who was very excited to find out that there are products out there currently where they can earn 6% per year on their money. And the last question that they asked me was, how much can I put in that? So there are certainly opportunities out there for much better than 1.5%. Burke's Outlet gives everyone 15% discount every Friday, provided you have one of their frequent show. Opal on your time frame. I have time after next Thursday. What are some investment options for extra cash? Some stewards who have seen some days. I don't want to, call anybody out in this particular forum, but Laura, you might want to ask that question to Rita Mihailoff about the senior citizen discount. I'm not saying she's a senior citizen, but she might know some. Hee hee, hee hee. I also read today, again in my research, that some people, every time before they buy something online, they do a Google search for promo code wherever they are. So promo code Academy, promo code Walmart, and they say 9 times out of 10, they actually find a promo code saves them 5, 10, 15%. As far as other investment options for the extra money, honestly, the list is extensive. Yes, Amy, promo code for new phone. And it's more than just an actual investment. There are tons of investments out there that historically, even though we've had a horrible last 10 years of investments, I met with another client today. We looked back at our portfolio for the last 5 years, and we've actually averaged 7.5% with very, very little risk. And most of that is in what we call commercial paper and international bonds. So we did well. Other investment options, like I said before, these annuities, some of these indexed annuities are paying anywhere from 4 to 7%, some of them. And when you're comparing it to a 20-year mortgage, a 10-year annuity is not a big deal. I love all the comments, guys. I really do appreciate it. It makes things a lot less boring. And I do know that we have some people logged on that are being silent, and that's quite okay. I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable that they have to participate. I hope you get something out of this evening, and I hope you come back next evening or next Thursday and do the same, because I really enjoy this, and I hope you do too. It is 8:45. I want to keep my promise to you and end this at 8:45, but I will stay on the line. If anybody has any additional questions that they want to put out there to be answered or to be commented on by others, I will ask you this one thing. I have not finalized the agenda for the next 4 webinars. So since you're here, would anybody like to throw out some ideas on what you might like to hear discussed over the next 4 to 6 webinars? And this is your forum, so now's not the time to be shy. All right, let's see. We have some ideas. Managing debt. That's always one of my favorite ones. So I'll make that note. Managing debt. Adding money to retirement accounts. Can we hear you typing? Oh, we can hear you typing. Yes, you can hear me typing. Sorry. Any other grand ideas? Okay, fantastic. I'll let you sleep on it. Um, before I let, before I kind of dismiss everything, I want to once again thank everyone so very much for being here. Not only for being here, but for being part of this broadcast. Because as much as I enjoy it, I don't enjoy it nearly as much as when I have this participation back and forth with attendees. Um, I hope you all come back next week. I hope you also bring a friend with you. I got that one. Drew Clark, home-based business, tax advantages. Um, yes, by all means, please, if you enjoyed yourself this evening, share that with someone else. And I'd like to see this idea that I had, this brainchild of mine, just develop and blossom into something that can really, really be beneficial for as many people as possible. We do not have the scarcity mentality. We want to share with everybody as much as humanly possible and help everybody do as well as they possibly can for themselves and their families and alleviate some of the stress that we have in our lives. The the slides with the not going to Starbucks and eating out, Amy? Okay, very good. Well, like I said, I'm gonna sign off. I'm not sign off. I'm gonna stay on and continue monitoring questions. Those of you who have no questions or don't care to watch the other questions, have a great evening. Take care of your family and give them hugs and kisses every night, right?